foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Wakar Kadash, Shalom to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching His word truthfully and sincerely, and Shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely, and Shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. I say Shalom to you Akim out there. And this is another in the news article, September 20th, 2022, on this Tuesday afternoon. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads from RT.com, World Alternative News Around the World, and it reads, China issues a Cold War warning to the United States. Washington is wrong in its perception of China and should not view as a rival. And it says Foreign Minister Wang Yi had said a Cold War between China and the United States will be a disaster for both countries. As for the whole world, Foreign Minister Wang Yi warned on Monday after meeting with Foreign Minister U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. During their meeting in New York, Wang Yi describes Kissinger, who played a vital role in the normalizing relations between Washington and Beijing in the 1970s, as a good friend of the Chinese people. However, Beijing's most senior diplomatic cautioned that an outbreak of a Cold War will be a disaster for China and the U.S., as well as parts of the world, urging Washington to adopt a rational and pragmatic policy towards China. According to the minister, Washington could do that by honoring its previous recognitions of China's position that Taiwan is part of its territory, which I highly doubt that's going to happen, because the United States is still going to assist Taiwan, because they're going to go bypass what China is saying, because the tension is going to increase between Beijing and Washington and China and the United States as well too. And the United States is going to continue to defend Taiwan, as they recently sent I believe $4.5 billion in military arms sales to Taiwan. And then Joe Biden, he was in an interview, I believe, because I did a video on it about 2 days ago. You know, he meant by what he said that he was going to defend Taiwan if China is going to potentially invade Taiwan. And Joe Biden said he will use military readiness of his armed U.S. troops if there was going to be a potential of China invasion Taiwan. And President Joe Biden said he was going to defend Taiwan if China was going to invade Taiwan. You know, so yeah, these tensions are definitely going to increase more and more and more. It's not going to be no peace and stability on both sides, from China and the United States and Beijing and Washington as well too. It might show a little progress, but fully progress of peace and stability between the different nations, I just don't see that happening. And others would agree as well too, you know. So the tensions with China and the United States and Beijing and Washington is going to increase more and more and more, you know, especially over the island of Taiwan and China, those tensions. So that's going to increase more and more and more, you know. But it says, according to the minister, Washington could do that by honoring its previous recognition of China's position that Taiwan is a part of its territory under one China policy. And Taiwan said it again that they want to continually to separate themselves from China, even though China look at main, even though China look at Taiwan as one of them, and still under the one China policy. But Taiwan is still want to be self-governor, self-sovereignty of its own island. That's why you're seeing the separation between the two of 1949 and still to this day, you know. And it says, continuing on with the reading, it says Wang Ying said the recent visit by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to the island was detrimental for senior U.S. relations, as was the U.S. Congress Policy Act in 2022. The latter document, which was backed by the United States Senate Foreign Relations Committee, aims to provide Taipei with billions of dollars in security assistance. Wang went on to say that the U.S. has a wrong perception of China, viewing it as a most prominent rival and a long-term challenge, which they is going to be rivals for long-term. That's not going to change. It says some people even describe successful stories of it. China-U.S. exchanges, yeah, that was in the past, but now tensions going to continue between China and the United States. Exchanges has failed once. By doing so, they respect neither history nor themselves. The statement read, a peaceful unification, Taiwan and China's best wish, Wang said, adding, Beijing will do its best to achieve this end. He said, however, that the more rampant Taiwan independence affirming activists become, the lesser likely the issue can be resolved peacefully. His comments come after U.S. President Joe Biden said on Sunday that American troops will defend Taiwan if it were attacked by China. This statement drew from Beijing, which said that it deplores its formally opposed such a stance. Taiwan has governed itself since nationalist forces led by the Chiang Kai-shek fled the island in 1949 after they lost the Civil War to the communists. The U.S. governor has since the 1970s officially recognized but not endorsed Taiwan's sovereignty over Taiwan. So these tensions are definitely going to increase, and it's going to increase to that buildup of a Cold War. A Cold War is going to happen, even if they come with many different types of peace and stabilities on trying to hash it out of peace and stability solutions. It's still going to be a Cold War, still going to be tensions between Taiwan and the United States, and Beijing and Washington as well too. And China and Taiwan is going to still continually separate from one another, and that's going to put more tensions on China to react against the United States and Taiwan of a potential invasion of Taiwan. And it's gonna happen. Whether they believe it or not, it's gonna happen. Because the scriptures has said it, that Revelations 11-14 is going to come to pass. Whether people believe it or not, it's going to happen. And these nations rising against nations and kingdom against different kingdoms are going to increase as well too. So let me bring that out. Because at this moment right now, we really just don't see anytime soon if China and the United States is not going to get along with each other. It's just not going to happen. Not at the moment. We just don't see that happening. Matthews 24:7. For nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, you're going to continue to see the increase in divisions between the nations and different kingdoms rising up against one another. So yes, it's going to be a ugly Cold War between the United States and China. There's going to be no solution to stop it. And there's going to be times where they're going to have opportunity and chance to stop it momentarily, peace and stability momentarily. But the tensions are going to increase once again, because everything is a balance, Yahweh Shemel Shai is a balance, He's in control of everything, So, that war is going to come. It is going to come to pass, as the scriptures has stated, And I'm about to bring out Revelations 11:14. And this is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. And you're going to have that alliance between China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and many other allies as well, too. Revelations 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. Right, because we're seeing these more signs of these wars and rumors of wars, nations rising up against nations, kingdom against kingdoms, because we're going to see these things increase and intensify, I'm going to bring out Matthew 24:6 since I mentioned it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, because we're going to see these increase of the wars and rumors of wars as we see it on everyday in the news of rumors of wars just being a rumor, 100% rumor. Then there's going to be times where you're going to hear a 100% rumor of wars is being actually true, and it's coming to a reality as well too. So you're going to see those increase more and more and more as we see these things take hold in around the world, because you're going to see these things increase more and more and more. So yes, you're going to see a Cold War between the United States and China. Yes, it's going to get to that point very soon. But who knows when? But we're seeing signs of it, though. It's increasing more and more, Especially the attentions over the South China Sea with Taiwan and China and stuff like that, As United States, as a increased strength of an unofficial ally with Taiwan, as they continue to assist them with military assistance. A high increase of military spending money to assist Taiwan to defend them against China, So those tensions are definitely going to build up. So I don't know how that solution is going to be solved, So, that Cold War is coming between those two nations, United States and China, because we're seeing signs of it. Because early this summer, we've seen a clear example of it after Nancy Pelosi and other U.S. officials went over there to visit Taiwan to build up that cooperation and security and economic stability between the United States and Taiwan, as that relationship starts to grow more and more and more between Taiwan and the United States against China, in Beijing as well too. So this Cold War between the United States and China is definitely going to increase and build up right along with Washington versus Beijing. So it's going to increase more and more and more from an economical standpoint, from a verbal standpoint, and a warlike talk standpoint as well too. So those tensions are building up, and it's going to continue to build, So with that, this was a in the news sit down lesson on the September 20th. September the 20th, 2022, on this Tuesday afternoon at 2:08 p.m. Central Standard Time. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Wakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, scattered in the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say Shalom and Abal Babal.